I woke up abruptly, as if I had been pulled out of sleep by some unclear, unsettling sensation. The room was still dim, thick curtains blocking out the morning light, but the air felt different, dense, heavy with something I couldn't immediately recognize. I sat up in bed, trying to collect myself. My heart was beating slightly faster than usual, and a strange feeling settled inside me. Not fear, but something close to it, as if my intuition was whispering that something important had happened that night. On the carpet beside me, curled up in a ball, lay my dog. But something was off. She didn't jump up upon seeing me awake, didn't wag her tail as she always did. Instead, her eyes were filled with an inexplicable anticipation, perhaps even concern. Slowly, I placed my feet on the cold floor, and suddenly, a wave of memories rushed through me. Everything was blurry, but a sharp pang hit my chest. I just knew that these were memories I shouldn't be remembering. But it was too late. The images of last night began to unfold before my eyes. Memories came in waves. At first, they were hazy, barely perceptible fragments, dim lighting, the clinking of glasses, soft laughter. Then, faces, movements, sensations. I remember meeting him that evening. It was a coincidence, or maybe fate. An old acquaintance, someone who had once meant a lot to me. We hadn't seen each other in ages, but the moment our eyes met, time seemed to fade away. "You haven't changed at all," he said, his smile carrying something more than just the joy of reunion. We went to a cozy place, an innocent dinner, conversations about the past and the present. But at some point, the atmosphere began to shift. The closeness, the light touches, the glances that lingered just a little too long. As if the universe itself was pushing us towards something that shouldn't happen. Was it the wine? Or was it the way his eyes reflected the woman I used to be? The one who knew how to forget time, who could lose herself in the moment, and do things that should never be spoken aloud. When we stepped outside, the air was warm, yet I felt cold. He took off his jacket and handed it to me, our fingers brushing against each other. That touch sent a spark through me, making my breath hitch. "This is wrong," I whispered. But he didn't answer. He just looked at me, and I knew that one more step and there would be no turning back. And I took that step. I'll take a short pause. Write in the comments where you're from and if you've ever experienced something similar. I'd love to hear your stories. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next part. Now, I continue. I snapped back to reality with a heavy feeling in my chest. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The room was the same, dim, silent. But something had changed. Or maybe I had changed. I ran my fingers through my hair, catching a faint scent that didn't belong to me. My eyes drifted downward, and suddenly, I froze. There was a barely noticeable trace on my clothes. The kind no one would see, unless they knew where to look. And I knew. Panic surged through me. I jumped out of bed and rushed to the bathroom. Turning on the light, I stared at my reflection. Too many questions in my eyes, and something unfamiliar in the woman looking back at me. A woman who had crossed a line the night before. Frantically, I began pulling off my clothes, wiping at the mark as if I could erase the fact that it had ever been there. But before I could get rid of it, I felt it. I was being watched. My dog. She was sitting in the doorway, motionless. No wagging tail, no excited movements. Just watching. I swallowed hard. "Are you judging me?" I exhaled, attempting to smile, but the smile came out wrong. She didn't look away. I shook my head, feeling ridiculous. But deep inside, I knew, she sensed it. She knew something was different. And then it hit me. She was a witness. A witness to something that should never have happened. Fear gripped my chest like an icy hand. I stood in the bathroom, leaning against the sink, staring at my reflection in the mirror. Messy hair, red-rimmed eyes, a face that didn't just show signs of a sleepless night, but the weight of realization. I had made a mistake. No, it wasn't just a mistake. It was something bigger. Something that could destroy everything I had built over the years. I ran a trembling hand over my neck, as if searching for traces of a touch that didn't belong there. My throat was dry. I had to act. First, the clothes. I tossed them into the laundry basket, but that wasn't enough. I couldn't wear them again, they were soaked in a night that no one could ever know about. I pulled them back out and stuffed them deep inside the closet, out of sight. Next, the phone. With shaky hands, I grabbed it from the nightstand. The screen lit up, casting a dim glow in the bedroom. My stomach twisted as I saw the last messages. "Thank you for tonight." That was. I can't stop thinking about it. I bit my lip, deleting the conversation in an instant. But what if there were traces? Screenshots? Call logs? I opened my call history. One incoming call at 3 a.m. deleted. Every second felt like an eternity. My dog was still sitting by the door. There was something in her eyes that unsettled me. "You could just forget," I muttered, pulling on my robe. But dogs don't forget. I stepped into the bedroom and scanned the room. Was everything in place? The bed was made, no foreign objects. At least, I thought so. But the air. That damned air, still carrying the echoes of last night. I opened the window, letting fresh air rush in. Would that be enough? Footsteps. I froze. No. It couldn't be. Then I heard the car door slam outside. My husband. I glanced at my phone. The time. He was early. My fingers gripped the edge of the bed. What if he already knew? The key turned in the lock. I froze. I had expected more time. Expected to steady my breath, organize my thoughts, erase any traces, even the ones that only existed in my imagination. But reality offered no pause. I took a step toward the mirror, giving myself one last check. Calm face. Steady gaze. A deep breath, and then the door opened. "Hey." His voice. Familiar. Ordinary. As if this was just another day. I turned, trying to appear natural. "You're early," I exhaled. Work ended sooner than I thought. He set his bag down and looked at me. For a long time. As if he was seeing me for the first time. What was that? Suspicion? Or was I just imagining things? "Everything okay?" he asked casually. "Of course. You?" He nodded, but his gaze drifted over the room before landing on the dog. She was still sitting there, staring at him with the same focused intensity she had given me just minutes ago. A tension twisted inside me. "Is something wrong?" I asked, stepping closer. "I don't know," he shrugged. "You just have a different look in your eyes." A moment of silence. 1 second. 2. "Are you testing me?" I laughed, as if his words were ridiculous. "Should I be?" I was about to reply, but something in his tone stopped me. Something strange. And then I saw it. A barely visible crease on his shirt. A scent I didn't recognize. A moment ago, I thought I was in control. That I had erased every trace, outsmarted the situation. But what if I wasn't the only one hiding secrets? What if my husband came home early, because he didn't want his own secret to be discovered. I smiled. The final game had just begun. What do you think about this story? Have you ever experienced something similar? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. I truly value your opinions. I read every comment and appreciate each one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like so you don't miss new thrilling stories. Wishing you a great day. And to let me know you're listening until the end, write in the comments, the final game has just begun.